Hello everyone, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. This is episode 10. It has been some time. For me personally, it has been 2 weeks since I've been able to play this game. The art cop got caught in a unfortunate real-life illness. I got and have been dealing with COVID, so it wiped me off the map for a little bit of time while I recovered. So the art cop took the fall and has had to sacrifice himself to the primordial blackness. So you are now stuck with me as I have returned to play Disco Elysium. So thank you so much for your patience in waiting for a new episode. I'm a little bit nervous to get back into recording because this is like my first time recording in almost 2 weeks, and it's my first time playing Disco Elysium again in just over 2 weeks. So it's been quite a little bit of time for me. If I do take a brief moment to have a little bit of a cough or something like that, it is a bit of a persistent cough, but besides that, I'm doing okay and recovering. And the art cop may make a return later on at some point, but I'm just seeing if we can get the ball rolling and bring another episode back onto the channel, because one of the most depressing parts about it is how much I've just been wanting to continue this game and just be able to sit down and share some games with you guys again, because yeah, taking a bit of a forced break was a bittersweet thing, positives and negatives, but I've been very much looking forward to coming back for Disco Elysium. So we're at episode 10. Last time we confronted, we ended last episode talking to Joyce about it, and we're going to brings us up to speed. Okay, so we got a few timed things. We'll check in with the dice maker again now that it's during the day, just to actually see if we're able to pick up that dice or not, because we did try and check in with her a while ago, and nothing happened, even though the 8 hours had already passed, but it was quite late, so we'll just have to see. But today's Wednesday, which means that we can close the water lock to get over the other side, which is awesome. And I Summer's owner in a few hours, so it's a really good thing that I have this journal so I can remember and keep track of where I'm up to. But I did rewatch and have a skim through my last episode just to get a bit of a refresher, a bit of an update on what's going on. But I'm very happy to be back in the world of Disco Elysium. But if I have a little bit of trouble finding my footing with commentary and playing it along, please bear with me, because like I said, it's been a little bit of time. I need to get back into my groove again, because I haven't been doing a lot of talking. I haven't had to be. Usually I talk to you guys every single day, and instead I've been very introspective, and I haven't been very communicative. So I'm getting back into talking again. You gotta bear with me. So I think while we're actually quite close to the dice maker, I'll check in with her. The problem is, however, we only have 8 real, and I think commercial district, which I think we can go in through this door. This is one way to get back in. Oops. And I think the game's going to make me want to wield my flashlight, so let's chuck that on. I'm still not sure what my preferred method of navigating the environments is. I think this is actually probably quite better to actually do it as like a click and point adventure. Usually, because you can also move around with like the WASD keys, and I usually kind of do that because it's nice, but Dice Maker has our dice for us.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Nice. Okay, so I came back to pick up my die. So it was just a point that we just came to check in with her too late. It had already been over 8 hours. However, it was late at night, so...
Very good. That will be 7 real for 1 custom die.
Yeah, okay. We can afford it. Which means this puts the pressure on today. Today we need to get 19 real to pay for our room. But we're gonna buy the anti-whirl die. Let's do it.
One universal die for Whirl Untethered.
The dice maker opens her desk drawer and hands you a die. Let's look at it.
It feels icy. Just holding this die in your hand sends a jolt of cold down your spine. Through the dark resin, you can make out a nugget of bone hewn from an alligator's jaw.
So cool. Alright. So we've got... That's our second die, because we also have the... We got given the red one, and the... apparently opened up some white checks. Now, let's have a read of this one. This standard 24-sided role-playing die can be used to get results for several dice. It's made of alligator jawbone, cast in acrylic resin, and embellished with frost motifs. Looks like a minuscule blizzard is stuck in there. Note, look at the map tab in the journal to see which white checks have opened. So, we do have white checks that are currently open that we can have a look at, and... God, this menu specifically is very difficult to navigate. I don't understand or know why this menu in particular is the one that's hard to scroll through. It just is. But we'll check these out again, and then I think we do have a skill point. So we'll try and get into the habit of, because you know, something that's good to do, which I think I have done sometimes and other times haven't, is to what is the word that I'm looking for, is to, if it's still a low chance, to still attempt it, and then I can just like level up or come back to it later when we level up a skill point. I'm trying to see, I think what we should maybe do, because something that just kind of like, because it's a new day, you know, we can do the waterlock, but I think it might be a good idea for us to actually go do the... Let's go do the docks. I think going to do that during the day is probably a good idea, because that will allow us to finally be able to talk to what's-his-face. I'm going to have to remember characters' names again. Talk to Everard? Is that his last name? We're gonna go in here during the day. One of the twins. Okay, this room is still empty during the day. The room is still empty during the day. Good to know. But I think we might see some people around here, or at the very least in the office. We'll be able to have a chat to one of the twins, which I think is what we need to do. That could be a good idea before we proceed to open up that water lock. So let's take a look. So he's still here.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like we talked about before. I know you're probably a busy man being an important police officer and all, and personally, I think the more people keeping the peace, the better.
Thank you, Leo. Alright, let's have a look in here. Because it got cleaned up when we were here in the night, so we weren't able to really look at anything. The coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm, and I can hear a typewriter. There we go. Okay, so when we came in here during the night, it was all cleaned out. There was nothing for us to glean from here, but during the day... I always like looking at the just like new characters when you see them in their character designs.
Behind a large desk, he looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you.
Everard Clare, there we go. So, Everard Clare.
With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Are you in charge of the dock workers? And let's get straight to business. There's a dead body in a tree. Okay. Let's go for number one. Are you in charge of the dock workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
I just got my last name. Harry Dubois. Harry Dubois. I just got my middle and last name. It's French. Okay, there you go. So we've spoken to this Config Day Bender episode where we forgot everything and introduced ourselves, or he is aware of us and has done his research. We just got named. There you go, HDB. And, okay, unexpected.
I'm Everard Clare,
Everard
head of the
Clare.
Debarders Union here in Martinez.
The man relaxes into his chair and continues. He's talking with a pinched nose.
I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez.
That's how he talks, with his nostrils clenched.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
Yeah.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
There we go.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair. We just got named. Harry Dubois. We'll say it how we read it. So Harry Dubois and Kim Kitsuragi.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best.
And then... Okay, it still says my name is unknown. I wonder if this will update.
Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Is it my name, or is he giving me a nickname? I think that's my name, right? Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably it out.
Okay. Taking a seat. I don't sit. It's kind of my thing.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions.
Authority. Authority. As he nods, his multiple chins move like ocean waves.
I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level.
Well, you have to stand up then.
Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Authority failed.
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy. He's got you in a fork.
Okay.
Sit down or leave.
Okay, he wins. Take a seat.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Try to wink back.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
Okay. Gart. His name is Lawrence. And he also knows about that, too.
This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Is this a bribe? He's given us many cash. Damn. Is this low-key a bribe? Or he's also trying to be like, give us some kindness.
Wow, that's 25 real.
Interesting. Interesting.
Lawrence, he's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
I love that he's like, it'll cover the expenses, but 25 real only covers one night, and it doesn't even cover the previous expenses we had with him. When he first mentioned it, I thought we were just about to get, this was like another way to get decent money to like pay for stuff, like when Joyce gave us some money. I'm gonna just take the comically large check, but don't say anything.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No.
No, it's cool. You've got integrity.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager. But, sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
Slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
It almost makes, if I get the vibe straight away, that he's trying to be too nice and too helpful right off the bat, where he's like, here's some money for the cafeteria manager, we're gonna find your lost gun, we're gonna take care of you, you know what I mean? Like, it comes across that way, that he's just like, he's doing some nice things to try and like ease us up a bit and butter us up. Interesting. Well, he's named us, and he knows about our lost gun. I feel like Harry and Everard must have had some sort of encounter during, you know, the time that Harry was here before the game started. It feels like it. So we'll see. How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
Okay.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Well, we know that it's in the hands of a woman who bought it from the shop.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
2 bullets in it. Didn't say thanks for it. Took the novelty check, and the chair is killing you. My composure is very low, and it's a red check as well, to not panic. Well, that one cannot be retried, and it's very...
Sir, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with...
I'm pushed into the... to not panicking. Okay. Do you reckon I can... It's the first roll in a couple weeks. Let's limber up. Let's get stretched, because we're about to roll.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun, and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
So what? Men can cry too.
You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do, don't cry. You'll think you're disgusting.
Oh, God.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Chill. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Chill.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
The large man snaps his fingers, but to no effect. You're in some stupor. There are no Harrys. Let your mind go to your safe place. Be careful. Get out. I need to go to my mind palace. Keep sliding down the chair like a jello shot.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
I'm melting! I'm gonna ask for that glass of water. Should I ask for that glass of water? This chair is uncomfortable. Keep sliding. I feel like if I say I'm as good as it gets, I'm going to take more damage from the chair. Actually, this chair is uncomfortable. I could use that glass of water. Let's sit upright.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Very busy.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
Police officer questions.
It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
My lost dignity. So open with, why'd you call me my name? So we can start with drug trade, how we got in, helping about the dead body, the lost gun. There's a lot to cover with Everard, so let's strap in for a conversation and a half, shall we? You called me Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
My memory is fine. I'm just testing you.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
So he's got a brown folder, which is, yeah, he's got eyes and ears in places.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips.
Oh, that was a morale heal, okay.
It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
The lieutenant inspects Everard over his spectacles.
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
I've read shipping folders before. Have another look at that folder. It's another red check. We're stuck in red check right now. Ugh. And we haven't increased our drama before this, and we probably could have. I think I might be able to come back into this conversation. Let me leave this, because I can increase our drama. Don't just jump to the folder. Let's talk of other matters for a moment.
Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia. You wanted something from me.
Okay. I want to take this in a way where we don't jump right into telling him that the union's involved in the drug trade. Let's take it slow. Let's talk about the lost gun, because that came up already.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
Okay.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to do that. Interesting. So, yeah, because he's saying time and effort. So it's like, if we do stuff for him, he'll turn over that gun for us. Hold on. Could he really hold my gun hostage?
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Wait, the gun may have been bought from Roy's pawn shop. Have your men factored that in?
Yes. Thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed factored in that you pawned it.
I love that. I come back to this game after 2 weeks. I have to sit down and get schooled by Everard. I'm put in his chair and I'm just going to get ridiculed by this guy. God damn it.
Now please, let the professionals do their job. Kick back, Harry, relax. I have great guys on this. You focus on what's important. Building our relationship for the good of Martinez.
All right, mate.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
Okay. Does this mean if I do things for you, I'll get my gun back?
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Okay, well, what about my badge? What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Kvarsland crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
God damn it, Everett.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Open sesame. Let's have a look. Aren't you going to ask me how I got in?
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age...
I too am surprised by the resilience and athleticism of this tool I've been provided with.
Yes, yes, Harry. You are obviously in peak physical condition, and I salute both your initiative and your physical prowess. Very impressive, Harry. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Okay, mate. Which one of these two? I've just finished investigating the local... I don't know if we've finished investigating it. I'm told the Union is involved in the local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
I am.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what?
He perks up.
I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me. So do what you want, and let's change the subject.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
Okay, Everett.
None taken. Do we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Okay. I want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help, like I'm helping you with your lost gun. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
I sense that there is a but.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
I have opened a few doors in my life.
And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colours, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Okay, so there's a task to accept for Everett. Play his game with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top. Whose door is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
Why don't you just open it yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there.
So we're going to open a door. Okay. I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging. I bet he knows a lot about the hanging. Okay, damn it, fine. I'll look into it. We need to talk about that murder.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level.
He flicks his fingers. We're being led on and manipulated by so many people, it feels like, and we just have to go along for this ride.
You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Can you help me get a dead body down from a tree?
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
Also, I studied the footprints at the crime scene. Worker boots.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat lips and smiles.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you.
He picks up the handset of a radiophone to his right, then clicks a button.
Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And Jean, please take it easy with the race science. That's a yes to getting the body down, no to the race science.
He hangs up and turns back to you.
You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates. He's the big, impressive one. You know, tattoos, muscles, ethnic looking. Can't miss him. Great guy.
So, Measurehead? Okay. It turns out the strikers were being served an alcoholic brew. I stopped this madness.
I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there keeping things running lets me focus on the big picture stuff. Don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew? Stronger? Stopped it? Strike? I'm just going to let you surprise me, Harry.
Okay. I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals?
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez here. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. And with finding your lost gun. I'm not a jealous guy.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
Are you sure? I find it a little odd.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me.
Okay then, positive emotions it is. You like positive emotions.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gaumont?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
You called him a tiny person?
Harry! I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Who is this guy? Everard, Joyce seems to think the Union is lowballing her.
Yes, yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Joyce said the previous Union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
That much is true. His heart truly is in it. Though you wouldn't think so by looking at him. If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
It's a fortress. He knows she can't get in here.
We can just walk her in with us.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret.
Okay.
Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everard doesn't mind.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
Alright, I'm going to put my drama clothes on so we can do the drama question. I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate.
He leans, reaches into the door, pulls out a plastic card. Interesting, because we've already got a card, and we've already got our way in and out. So we're about to get a second one. Great, wouldn't want to get stuck in here.
Here. You're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Okay. So there you go. There's our lovely first encounter with Everard. We have our giant novelty check. This 20 by 50 centimeter check looks like it's meant to be handed over ceremoniously on a gala-like event. It supposedly exchanges for 25 real at your local Fritz store. Below the number, a careful hand has written the words, Constable's Rent. All of it. Note, worthless in a pawn shop. Okay, interesting. Now, we did get another skill point, so we can level up some stuff if we wish, and then we have to go to Measurehead on the gates and ask him to get the body down. Interesting. So we've got that, and then open the apartment door for Everard, the basement door behind the greenhouse in the backyard to intimidate the occupant. Do what you have to do. Everard has promised to give you info on the case in return. Okay. Let's put some drama clothes on, shall we? +1 drama. Against the mesh tank top. Let's get the drama clothes on, baby, so we can ask the drama question. Okay. Now, do we have? Hang on. I've got something that's a -1 on drama somewhere. That one. There you go. All right, my drama is now to +2. Hello there! I've just gotten changed.
Every worker...
Mr. Dubois, every worker waiting for you to complete his sentence. Every worker And then I think the thing that everyone's chanting about is a member of the board at the moment. Is an organ in the great state organism of war. Also looks just like me. Every worker, a member of the board.
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervour now burns in your heart, too. How can I help you today?
I wanted to go over a couple of things about me.
Let's hear it, Harry.
Oh, nice. That's 92 now. If we fail that, I will end the playthrough right now. Okay.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Harry Dubois. Okay. And that actually gets rid of... Okay, that gets rid of all of the... I thought that just having a look at the book wouldn't remove every other option that we can ask. But there you go. It means that he just doesn't know anything about us. So there you go. I'm going to leave now. Because he doesn't want us to talk about the drug trade. Oh, but we've said... Last time we said that the union's involved, but we didn't say we've finished investigating the local drug trade, did we? Alright, let's do it. I've just finished investigating the local drug trade.
Ah, yes. Your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Actually, Revachol doesn't have a mayor. Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Okay. We're out of here.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
He does like a little finger gun animation when the conversation stops. That's funny. That's funny. Let's get out of here. Let's leave. He's just like comes back down. And he goes. All right, let me get dressed again. Let's put my stuff back on. What do I want on? This one gives me more money, I think. And then... This is such a terrible outfit, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad. Alright, our drama is now -1. That's okay. It's fine. Alright. So, we've had that conversation. We're gonna go talk to Measurehead. We'll get out of here. We're gonna get Measurehead to not you know, get into things in the way that Measurehead gets into things, and we are going to we're gonna leave. We'll get out of here. And we'll get his help to take the body down. And then I think we can check in with Joyce after that. And then we gotta open this apartment door. So Everard's given us some clues, and then, you know, eventually we'll get this gun back, apparently, which is loaded. Alright, Measurehead! It's been some time, buddy. How you doing?
Last we saw, your race was being superseded by the Seminese.
Okay. The situation is serious. Your people have probably killed a man.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you.
I am going to take a piss on your face when you sleep.
The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
Jesus, there's an actual white check to subscribe to his advanced race theory. My God. Let's find out where this guy lives so we can take a shit in his pillow. We can show him the mug. I didn't realize that we would have these levels of conversation as well. Know anything about this mug?
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Put this into the trash lately?
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts mugs into trash?
No, he throws them on the ground. Because he's a strong man. Isn't Everard, the union boss, white?
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
Yeah, but you still serve him. How does that factor into your life?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront International Capital, which is something your race naivistic communists never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
My jam is a mysterious fourth thing.
Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs?
I've gotten it from disco, actually.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
Okay, I'll ask. Who are the Seminoles?
The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago. Millennia before you. We are the future. That is all you need to know.
So you were born and raised on the islands before you moved to Revachol?
I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the pale.
So you did not come from the islands? So you did come from the islands, or just understood? I'm gonna just move on.
Good.
Okay. Because he told us not to bring any of this up. We just need help with his body. Ask Kim what he thinks of this. Kim, what do you think about this?
I think this racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be a really good one.
God damn it.
That will be the...
That will be our lucky racist. Oh my, just fucking hell. Of course there'll be a next one. That will be our lucky racist.
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits.
Yeah, he does.
A protruding occiput and an indented zygomatic bone.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. the congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind.
Why are you not with the Hardy Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
But you're all part of the Union.
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the Union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Seminoles. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
Jesus. Everard told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior. Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, and I will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
Measurehead's babe.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
I'm pretty sure it would be a risk for one of us to, at least one of us, to not be present at a crime scene that is about to be tampered with. Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Yeah, I know, but it's tampering with a crime scene where we're not present to observe it.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
Okay then.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
Alright, there it is. Stay in guard while Measurehead takes down the body.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
The small talk begins. Okay. Why are you with Measurehead?
Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what?
Apparently so.
Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
He's breaking the tree.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I also wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everard's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
This guy's a plant. We need to deal with this guy. Wearing clothes that are too small for him.
Spoken by a mercenary, pretending to be a worker.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an unbelievably corrupt cop. I am corrupt every opportunity I get. That's the funny thing, is when you read that, is he being sarcastic? Because to me it seems that it's a sarcastic response. But you never know. I want to go with it as a sarcastic response.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno.
Kuno's laughter.
The man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
There has been no side choosing. We did what we had to do to keep order.
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
Time to leave.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
You must be mistaken. I'm a real radical.
Of course, a radical centrist. In these bright and loud times where 1,000 frequencies drown one another out, sober thinking is a radical act.
I'm assuming this is now because I have taken a few options that have been of the centrist options. So we just keep getting the opportunities to internalize the thoughts, I think, of each of the political ideologies.
It's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
Now, apparently, it's been mentioned that if you do choose to opt into something, even if you don't internalize the thought, I think the action still counts. So I think you really need to choose what you need to opt in for still, even if you don't internalize the thought. But then the problem is I want to get all of the thoughts so I can read the descriptions of them. It's a tough thing to balance those parts of the game. How do you bring about those circumstances?
Incrementally. Yawn. You'd get there faster with a little speed.
I need some speed still. It's one of my tasks.
Speaking of, when are you going to get on that, bub?
I got a list of tasks, man.
History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
Okay, but what about the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality? What a fucking joke.
What a fucking joke. Wait, is the Kingdom of Conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo?
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Yes.
There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress.
Okay, what's the Kingdom of Conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The Kingdom of Conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Post-sexual. Allons-y! I love that. Let's go there right now. So there is an opt-in, and it's oh my god. It's the fact that I do want to... Yeah, because we've now hit our 4th moralist option. I'm just going to opt in still anyway, because I want to get the thought so we can read the description of it, and then we've internalized the communism one already. So because we've already opted in and internalized that thought, I still think that that's the one that the game knows that we've taken as like the primary choice, I think.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Oh, right. Then let's get there
That's
eventually.
Right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Let's read this thought. Kingdom of Conscience. Temporary research bonus is -2 to Half-Light. Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your worry-worn forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. The ideals of DeLorean humanism are reinstating themselves. How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralist International. Those guys are signal blue, and they're not only good, they're also powerful. What will it be like once their nuanced plans have been realized? Alright. Let's get out of here. We've finally got that body down, so we can go and check that out. We're going to see what he's done to the backyard of the Whirling in Rags. I guess we could talk to... oops. I guess we can talk to this dude as well. The scab leader, who's definitely not a mercenary, who's been hired to be here.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Oh, we had the conversation with Joyce about this and the tattoos thing. I think we were told, if I remember correctly, that it's not a good idea to do that. Because it could not be a good result. Are you a mercenary hired by Wild Pines?
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here. You understand?
Is there a tribunal being convened by any chance?
Fucking Bob.
His giant chest deflating and his mouth slightly open.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time.
Okay.
The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right-to-work dance back on.
Okay, not a good idea. Are there more people here now? I think, like, more people are appearing with each day at this, at the strike. Yeah, it looks like it. I believe so. I'm also on the wrong side. This is not where I was meant to be. Let's go back to the Whirling in Rags. Let's go back around this way. I do think that there are more people that are appearing there with each day. Oh, actually, hang on. I need to cash in this comically large check. Let's cash in the comically large check at the Fritz store.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
I need to exchange this novelty check for cash. Give her the novelty check and gain 25 real.
Wow. I didn't know you worked for the Union, sir.
She rolls up the check, looks like she's seen it before, and slips it under the counter.
Anything else I can do for you?
Blow the whole thing on speed and gin right now. Speed and gin. Great combo. Ask some local dealers, maybe.
Okay. Now the Fritz store girl has an opinion about us. Apparently we work for the Union. We've been bought, but we have also got our rent covered for tonight. Let's go to... Let's check out the result of this body. Oh no, Kuno. What's happened with you, Kuno?
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
By the way, Kipt is a racial slur.
Yeah, honestly, I was expecting that. Jesus. When the second option is literally just fighting a slur with another awful word to use. God damn it, Kuno. Stop using the K word, it belongs in the past.
Can't tell Kuno what words to use? Fucking kipped.
He imbues the last syllable with a special kind of joy. What is this, a word museum? You want to belong to a museum, Kuno, with the old people?
Fuck you. Kuno says kipped if he wants to. Kuno's dad says kipped all the time. Kipped's a cool word.
I'm sure your dad's lovely.
Kipped, kipped, kippity, kipty, kipped. Kippity, kipped, kipped.
It's like a little engine has come alive on the other side of the fence. An engine that only says Kipt.
Kipt. Alright, shut it down, see. The cunt has business to do.
He turns to you, Victorious. Interesting. So we can tell him about the fact that we've found the shack. We can also ask him about speed as well. I do need to get some. Is he gonna be our pathway into it?
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Let me come back to that. Let's have a look at the body for now. This is kind of like the main thing.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Wipe a tear from your eye. Well, it's down. Celebrate in a more reserved manner.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
A field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
I knew that.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
Don't we have someone else to cut his shit open?
It's not about cutting. And no, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work.
Wait, honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is lieutenant detective.
Yes, I feel like a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now...
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses
Here we
and
go.
takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Thank you, Encyclopedia. Why don't you know? What use are you?
You must have me confused with the Copperpedia.
Who's the Copperpedia? I think I need to talk to him.
You, sir. You are the Copperpedia.
Damn it. Okay. Do you have another pair of gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. I have gardening gloves. Maybe they are enough.
They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things, while you will take notes.
Okay. We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger?
That's right.
Okay. Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Ha ha ha. And then it opens up these again. We already asked these questions again, but we have another opportunity to talk to the hanged man. Enough. We've already done these.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dream.
Alright, let's open the ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
Let's just jump ahead now. Begin. Number 1, assistant.
That's you.
Ooh, I can write my full name because I'm aware of it. Let's write the full name. The gloaming.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says...
Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57. followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
That's because he's the one performing the autopsy, so it would make sense for him to be the one on the case, so we'll write it down.
Next.
Name?
We've heard the nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down.
Lely, nom de guerre.
What's next? Date of birth?
Date of birth.
NA.
And then age, also NA.
Roughly 50.
Oh yeah, so it'll be an estimate age, okay.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
I'm gonna write the answer to the universe.
He nods.
Race?
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky!
I knew that it was gonna have some sort of immature response. I was waiting for it. The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Oh, the option to literally be able to write down Kuno S's and Kuno's responses. We're gonna write male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Pigs gonna have sex. Fuck does Kuno care if pigs have sex in the field? Date of death?
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
Okay, write that bad boy down.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment?
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Okay. I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest, as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else.
I think I accidentally pressed spacebar twice, because it skipped over this first section, which is somewhere in Jamrock North, a small woodshed behind Rosencrantz Row. Lieutenant Nick Furbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. And then we go into this next one.
The building is tall, 7 stories, wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
42, baby.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page!
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Okay, so, external examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Write it down.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
Write it down.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. I don't feel as if I should do that. Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Okay. Write down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Pet the chain cutters.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Okay. Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread, rising from the east.
58% and it's a red check. God damn it. I'm not your pig, Kuno.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Oh my god. Why did I say that? Yeah, now I even have less percentage. Oh my... Why? This is... Like, I let my intrusive thought win, and now I have less percentage. And I can't increase my physical instrument, and it's a red check. God damn it!
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
That's right, I didn't need that extra percentage, because I am a success story. Oh my god, alright, press down.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut, and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
That's right, Kuno, I'm not your pig, and I got this neck open.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia...
He pulls down the man's underpants, much to Kuno and Kuno S's surprise.
No! It's gonna happen, see?
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
I'm not looking to make myself even more of a target for Kuno. I cannot fucking get a one-up on this stupid kid. Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
This scarring is extensive, way more than the law officials.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Write it down!
Last item. Hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves to the other hand. And pick up the hand. We'll let the lieutenant work alone.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination summary. Let's go.
I'm afraid we can't continue before we've gone through both the external and internal examination first.
Oh.
Thoroughly.
I pressed the wrong button. Internal examination summary. I read number 2 here, like... So I pressed number 2, which is number 3. Confusing. Press number 1 for number 2.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
I don't know.
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
If I may add, the moral of this story.
What would that be?
He looks at you inquisitively.
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
All right, N.A.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Love it.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Let's take a look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking.
Why did I think that was going to go any other route? Every time I decide to get a little bit curious on another option, I am punished.
Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
Nice.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Thank you, Inland Empire. That is not the voice of the Inland Empire usually, is it? That's the voice of the primordial blackness.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
The lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut before you. Write it down!
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Okay, and that's it?
That's it.
Okay, right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine.
Right, NA, and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
This is the last field on the list. He looks round, to the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly. Write it down, but keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries, now that we've fully examined the body.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Okay. Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Write it down.
And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
That's right.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Right. Next?
What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Okay. An option to turn the page back.
The corpse lay slouched to the side, oblivious to its surroundings.
All right.
Interesting.
Bite marks.
Ligature
contusions
mark.
on the head and chest. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured. The cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Write it down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Fatal injury, baby.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
Yes. First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah. Well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
We're gonna celebrate this one. We want to celebrate this one, Kim. Perhaps a drink is in order later. I mean.
Now, you see, that worries me. You will die if you drink. You know that, don't you? You are proving a useful detective. The organization would miss you.
Please get yourself together. The lieutenant from Precinct 57 thinks.
I thought so. What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
This is a white check that apparently you can retry, even though we're about to send the body away. But I mean, like, we may as well try, right? We've established probable cause, but if we search the body one more time, thoroughly...
Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
8% success, baby. Alright, that's a legendary green check. I like that. I'm feeling good about that. That's a good one for today. What is this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Am I wearing gloves right now? I don't think I am wearing gloves right now, aren't I? Oh, God. All right, crawl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Push your fingers in his nose.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage.
The fuck is he doing?
You hear a voice squeak. Sounds very far away.
The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, Spider.
Put your fingers in his mouth. In the deep blackness. I'm wearing the finger gloves.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
I'm wearing the fingerless gloves, man. Oh, okay.
You're on the right track.
Yes, the Inland Empire did want me to check in about the mouth. Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Open your eyes and look!
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Fuck yeah. Say abrasion collar.
Abrasion collar.
The lieutenant looks in. There's a pen in his hand. His notebook is open at the copy paper.
Kuno is silent.
Touch it with your finger, gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Ah, I should have been wearing the gardening gloves for this one. Put your finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Oh, okay.
The fuck is happening?
I am getting intimate with this corpse.
Ah, shit, see?
Brainstem?
Yes, that's what this part is called.
Thank you.
You've seen the drawings. You've studied them.
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
Okay.
The ululations of the limbic system have ended. All is quiet.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Kuno's voice is hushed. Kuno's invested in this one.
Quivering with awe.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
I'm not going to punch a hole through his mouth. Let's wriggle in. Wriggle in. Be gentle with it.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. Ooh. The edges cut right into your skin.
Ooh, okay. I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
He searches his pockets for something. Inspect the skull first.
There's a tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. Right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull. In the encephalus. Knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
The lieutenant leans closer.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Her voice is absolutely sizzling with excitement.
Don't let down Kuno S. This went from already really high to 92%. Precise spot of exit wound, and don't let down Kuno S. Imagine getting the success on the 8% and failing the 92%. That would be classic.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
I got it.
My pig's fucking got it?
What? What is it?
Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
He had a fucking bullet in his brain, dude. He had a bullet in his brain. Oh my god. Oh shit. Dude, what a legendary 8% success. Drop it in the evidence bag. God damn, with the fingerless gloves and everything.
Falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-calibre. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Damn. We can ask to keep it. We can ask to have it, or have him keep it as a gift. I don't know. Do I want it? Or do I want Kim to have it? Keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
Okay. The Lieutenant drops the bag in your bloody hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list.
Injury number 4.
Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth.
Wow. Then there's the injury 4 that we left just in case.
High velocity, temporary cavity in brain tissue, small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
There's your maximum velocity, Kuno. Sounds like heaven.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Wasn't that what we thought the last time? Agreed.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He was shot and then hung.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
That's a big detail. The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Unless he was shot in the head and survived. People have been shot in the head and survived before. You think so?
I did not just come up with this. I've had my doubts since you showed me the tracks, officer. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? There is no satisfactory explanation.
That is true.
There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here. As we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
Secret task is to find the bullet before you get fooled.
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost.
Damn, I'm proud of that.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
I think I need to wash myself. I don't think that one really... Shot and then hanged. I don't know. Maybe the bullet holds more answers. Maybe they just shot him while they hanged him?
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it doesn't explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
The plot thickens. Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
Yeah. I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Okay, what happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
Ooh, you'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this.
Okay.
I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Nice. Kim praise is good praise. Let's bag him, tag him, take him away, boys.
All right.
He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands. I'll take the legs.
Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. There it is, baby. Alright, the Kinema is gone and it is just me. Their field autopsy complete. So we gotta wash off that death smell, which I think we can do towards the end of the day, I suppose. We now have a fractured bullet, RCM 18823. The bullet mushroomed out on impact. It now looks more like a fanciful jacket button than something that could pierce skin, flesh, and bone. Interact.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, bullet?
The squished little thing has no idea. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet.
It's my friend. I'm going to start talking to it. It will keep me company. I'm definitely not going to do any of these.
But bullets don't talk.
Yeah, but neither do corpses, and I've had a conversation with one.
Yeah, what are you? Crazy? Bullets can't talk. They don't have emotions. A bullet can't keep you company.
That's right. My necktie is what keeps me company. Find the gun that shot it.
That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy. Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato.
Okay. Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
Okay.
Far away, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is flipping through stations in his Kanima. He is not here examining the bullet with you. He should be. He would find this very intriguing. Mention it to him later when he's here.
Okay, when Kim's back, we'll bring up the bullet again. Put it away for now. Cool, okay. And this, the plot thickens now, because we have to think about, you know, are the Hardy Boys taking the fall and admitting to the hanging and doing everything and being like, yeah, we fucking did it. You know, are they taking the fall for someone above them? Are they being forced to take the fall, and will they be getting compensated for it? Are they going to be protected as a result of it? Do they know that they're okay? Because ultimately, I don't know. There's a bullet involved. We got to find the murder weapon. Someone may have accidentally shot him, but it's a head wound. Like, I'm pretty sure if we found the wound in the mouth, and then the bullet is lodged in the brain, there would have been I'm assuming that there would have been a gun in mouth situation. But I feel like if there was a gun in mouth situation, the velocity of the shot should have blown his brains out. But I guess there is potential for, depending on the power of the gun and how it was shot, for it to get lodged in the brain instead. Because otherwise you would, if we were inspecting the body, we would see a bullet hole or a wound. So yeah, it entered the brain through the mouth and didn't exit. So someone has shot him in the mouth. I mean, he could have shot himself in the mouth. I don't know if that's likely, though. Questions. This definitely adds a whole other layer to the murder, because when Hardy Boys were being very sort of open with the fact that, you know, they did it, it just does, it feels too clean for that to be a thing. You know, we have 4 skill points now, so I think what we should probably do, something that would be a good idea to do, is to go through some white checks that we can do, that are challenging and such, so we can at least try it at a lower percentage, and then I can put some levels into some things if I want. I'm trying to have a look at ones that would be good. For example, we've got a lot of white checks that are related to a physical instrument. However, we need a stronger, for the ice cream maker, we still do need a stronger thing to get it open, unless we want to try and do we want to do it with a low percentage to complete, and we might be able to do that. But I think with that one there, guys, with the field autopsy complete and Kim driving in his Kanima to transport the corpse away, we'll bring this episode of Disco Elysium to a close. Thank you so much for joining me for my first video back onto the channel in a little while. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We took it quite easy. I'm trying to ease my way back into things, so I hope you've enjoyed the field autopsy, because I certainly did. It was really cool to get to that point, and that small percentage success as well. But next episode, we will continue with day 3. We'll run around and do our silly little tasks and see what else we can glean before Kim returns. So thank you so much for joining me. It was great to come back and get through some recording again and to play this game. I've been itching to get back to this. It's been a tough 2-week wait for me to finally play it again. Even though the art cop persona has taken the hit and he has passed away, the art cop forever lives inside all of us. And who knows, maybe the art cop will make a return as well. But thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time.